Well, at Tuskegee, I never went into town except when I got there and when I left. Things were not very conducive or, around town. I know a friend of mine who came there from New York, and he said he had his clothes on his back, and policeman asked him, "What are you doing here?" He said, "Well, I'm waiting for transportation at Tuskegee." And he told him, "Well, you better not be here when I come back by." So he walked all the way to Tuskegee, to the institute there.
We knew that we were in a foreign land, in our own land. So what we did, we stayed on base most of the time. Because see, our instructors, though they're white, they were good instructors. But at night, they moved off base. And at night, the base belonged to the black man. A lot of people don't know that. And when they came back, we reintegrated.
I could be trained because I had been a farmer all the time, and this was a way out, you see. And that was one of the most memorable occasions for me to have been at Tuskegee and to have known at the time that to met George Washington Carver, as I said, and just to have been at this, it was one of the pristine universities that it was an institution at that time, see, that the blacks could attend. So it was just marvelous for me.
I enjoyed it for the most part, although, as I say, it was 9 months of very hard work to get through the program.
The 12 months that I spent at Tuskegee was probably the most enjoyable 12 months of my military career. It was exciting, it was interesting. I knew nothing about airplanes. I'd never been in an airplane. The instructor said, "This is the front and this is the back." I said, "Okay, and if you say so, it's all right with me."
On a flight, a training flight, I flew up to Pittsburgh, the Golden Triangle, down the Ohio River, and then across the Allegheny Country Club, and came down at treetop level and frightened everybody off the golf course, and they threw the clubs under the trees and dived under. It sticks in my mind because my brother at the time wanted to do some caddying out there, and they wouldn't permit blacks to even caddy there.
You know, the planes fly like your fingers. Let's say there were 4 of them. And there's a leader, which would have been Tresville, and then the wingman and the other 2. And so they all fly off of that wingman. And I think he just got disoriented, and they just flew that whole flight into the ocean. And one of the guys, Jefferson, was one of my best friends too, so it was a very, very sad day. One that you'll never forget, really.
I can guarantee you from the time I enlisted in April of 1941, and even those who were in the civil pilot training program before that, by the time the military became involved, were well aware, and throughout that entire period, that everything they did had a reflection on the black population of America.
It was an experiment no one wanted to try. It was a program designed to fail. Indeed, it was bold, an effort to leapfrog generations of segregation in the U.S. military, which had relegated most African Americans to servile roles. But despite a deck stacked against them, these people succeeded. Despite hostility, prejudice, and insult, they flew. They flew against the Germans in North Africa, in Sicily, at Anzio, and up the peninsula. They flew well, they fought hard, they died and were decorated. The Germans called them Black Birdmen. We called them the Tuskegee Airmen. Here at UCR, the Tomas Rivera Library houses the Western Archive of the Tuskegee Airmen, a growing repository of artifacts, photos, and documents recording the legacy of the Tuskegee Airmen, gentlemen and women who today, though as individual as can be, are united in their belief in the salutary effects their achievements have and will continue to have on each new generation.
As I look at the wealth of the materials in this archive, so beautifully arranged for our viewing this evening, I'm reminded that each collection represents an amazing and particular life story. A life story that will inspire and motivate our diverse student body now and in the future.
I think these archives are wonderful. I mean, I think but I want the youngsters to see them. I want these kids to see this, and I want them to know that this can be done.
I would like for everyone who come to know the contribution made by black people in World War II in the aviation. I think that this would be an inspiration to the generations of kids to come along. Not only the black, but the white as well.
And I'd been a part of a number of affairs at March Air Force Base, but I had no idea that UC Riverside was considering anything of that nature. And when I read about it, learned about it, that's why I'm here now. I was very, very pleased and elated.
I think first of all, it's very important to have some place to have these things that are protected and that will survive, and so it's extremely important. And we're very pleased that you're going to do that.
You know, I'm really proud to see this. I expect this archive to become preeminent in its collection and exhibits and the attractiveness to the public. Historically, it really means a lot to those of us who have had some of this experience. I have some things myself that I'm going to send over. I didn't know what to do with them. Now I know. They'll come here and they will always be.
I just believe that by establishing the archive, a lot of people will be able to come in and see some of the artifacts from Tuskegee and listen to or read some of the things that they've had to say. You know, the history books, they're fine, but just reading about something, it's a lot different from hearing someone talk about it and their personal feelings, how they felt about it.
I think it will help to maintain the legacy, help to have anybody understand a little bit more what actually occurred during the war and what has happened since the war.
They are, arguably, the greatest of that greatest generation. For they fought and they won against Germany in the European theater. And they fought and they won against prejudice and insult here at home. 2 fronts, 2 victories, the Tuskegee Airmen and women, an achievement without parallel, and one that, thanks to them, will never need repeating.